I enjoy stretching my creative bounds by trying to apply the filters in Photoshop Elements right into my layouts. This layout that I'm sharing with you here is utilizing the colored pencil filter. And you can see I simply left the original photo here in a smaller size, untouched, and then I put the one with the colored pencil filter applied to it larger and as in the background. And I've got here in my layers palette an original of that for us to play with. And from my playing, I've come to notice that it appears like the background color is the one that affects the photos with this filter. So I'm going to set this background color as some wild red just for the test so that you can see how it works. And I'm going to make the foreground color some kind of wild green. The colored pencil filter can be found in the filter drop-down menu, artistic, and colored pencils. And you'll see it come up here, and you can see what it did. It took that red background color and it made it as the whole tone of the entire layout or photo. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how you can artistically apply this to your layouts. I don't think we see any green in there at all anywhere. So I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to switch this so the green is the background color so that you can see when I do this again, it generally turns out to be the whole tone of green. Bright neon green. You guys might think that's cool. But for my purposes, I found just having the foreground and the background color as black and white, and the keyboard shortcut for doing that is just by hitting a D on the keyboard. And now my foreground and background colors are black and white. And let's go back in and open up that filter. Now you can see it looks more like what was applied in my photo. Let's review the sliders over here and maybe what they do for the photos. The pencil width, if I make it really high, you can see what it does. It makes the lines a lot more defined. If you look here at the line that goes around his shirt and maybe the lines in his shorts, because they're black, but these here lines around this guy are also the same way. These lines are a lot thicker. Gives a whole different effect to the photo. But for my purposes, I wanted to have the shorter pencil width because I kind of preferred that look. There's no right or wrong answer to this. You can play with it and get the look and the feel that you think is going to best fit your layout. Now let's take a look at the stroke pressure. Now I found that I preferred it up high, but let's make it a lot lower to see what that does to our preview. And you can see here, I'll zoom back in, that it makes it a lot softer when you lower the stroke pressure. And that can be very beneficial, especially I can see this maybe with your photo as the background layer, and you want maybe like a soft sort of silhouette of the photo in the background. But for my purposes, I liked the stroke pressure up a lot higher. Now the one I found to be most applicable to my photo was this paper brightness. I have it all the way up, but watch what happens when I lower it down. It gets into this really grungy gray. And for me, I didn't like the gray splotches that were all over the faces when I lowered the paper brightness. You can see some of the more of the original colors shows through. So I preferred to have that brightness all the way up. And then I'm going to click OK. Now you can see it doesn't quite look as good as my original one, but want to show you what I did here. You see his face didn't turn out as good as the other faces, and so I have this little layer here when I applied it, and it softens it. And basically, I think what I did, and I don't remember, but I think I just selected a little area of his face, hit Control J to put it on a layer by itself, so you can see it there by itself. And then I think I probably changed the levels of it or something like that, just to whoops, doesn't work with that, just to soften that up so his face didn't look so bad. But let me share with you now something else that you can do, just so that you can kind of get your creative outlet going, to show you that you just applying the filter is not the only thing that you can do with this filter. And so I have this photo here I'm going to play with. I'm going to hit Control J on my keyboard to duplicate it. So now there's 2 copies of it. In this instance, I'm going to go to the Enhance drop-down menu, Convert to Black and White. I kind of like the newspaper option. I'm going to click OK, and it's turning my photo to black and white. And then I'm going to go and apply the filter. And I'm not going to play with the settings this time, but you can always play with the settings. And this is what I like about digital scrapbooking, is that we get to play. It is so much fun to play, to just do things and watch what happens, and when we get something and we go, wow, that is really cool, then we have an outlet for our creativity. So let's observe here again. I have my layer that we're currently looking on that's been turned to black and white with the colored pencil, and below that I have the original photo layer. And so now I'm going to go and just apply some blending modes to see what happens. And you can see right away that gives a really cool guy artistic effect. And let's zoom in here to their jeans so you can see them a little bit better. And you can apply different blending modes. There, that one is really pretty awesome. They all give, of course, different looks and feels to them. Or we can go back to the normal blending mode and just lower the opacity and watch what happens. And that gives yet another look. Here's the before and there's the after. And if you want, you can play with the opacity and with the blending modes. And there's even yet another look. And so there are so many things that you can do to this. You can even go back and then apply another filter to it. Just to stretch your imagination a little bit more, we're going to play just a little bit more. And I'm going to take this layer here and I'm going to invert the black and white. And I just can simply do that by pressing Control I on my keyboard, and whammo, we have a whole new look to this layout. Then I can go back and apply with the blending modes again, and the opacity to see what something new might come from it. Another thing that you can do is hit Control L to bring up your levels box and play with the levels. You just never know what you're going to come up with. Of course, in this particular instance, it's not working well with that particular blending mode, but it might work better with a different one. Now we're getting a little Halloweenish. So anyway, just play until you come up with something artistic. And here again is my original layout, and I'm anxious to see what you can do with this and how you can apply this to your layout. And if everybody is trying and sharing this together, we'll be inspiring each other by the ideas we each come up with as we play.